ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬ ਜੀਓ। ਸ਼ਲੋਕ ਮਹੱਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ। ਮਨ ਪ੍ਰਤੀਤ ਨ ਆਇਆ, ਸਹਜ ਨ ਲੱਗੋ ਭਾਉ। ਸ਼ਬਦੈ ਸਾਧ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਓ, ਮਨਹਠ ਕਿਆ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ। ਨਾਨਕ ਆਇਆ ਸੋ ਪਰਵਾਨ ਹੈ, ਜੇ ਗੁਰਮੁਖ ਸੱਚ ਸਮਾਏ। ਮਹੱਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ। ਆਪਣਾ ਆਪ ਨਾ ਪਛਾਣੈ ਮੂੜਾ, ਅਵਰਾ ਆਖ ਦੁਖਾਏ। ਮੁੰਡਾ ਦੀ ਖਸਲਤ ਨਾ ਗਈਆ, ਅੰਧੇ ਵਿਛੜ ਚੋਟਾਂ ਖਾਏ। ਸਤਿਗੁਰ ਕੈ ਭੈ ਭੰਨ ਨਾ ਘੜਿਓ, ਰਹਿ ਅੰਕ ਸਮਾਏ। ਅਣ ਦਿਨ ਸਹਿਸਾ ਕਦੇ ਨਾ ਚੂਕੈ, ਬਿਨ ਸ਼ਬਦੈ ਦੁਖ ਪਾਏ। ਕਾਮ ਕ੍ਰੋਧ ਲੋਭ ਅੰਤਰ ਸਬਲਾ, ਨਿਤ ਧੰਦਾ ਕਰਤ ਵਿਹਾਏ। ਚਰਨ ਕਰ ਦੇਖਤ ਸੁਣ ਥੱਕੇ, ਦੇਹ ਮੁੱਕੇ ਨੇੜੇ ਆਏ। ਸੱਚਾ ਨਾਮ ਨ ਲੱਗੋ ਮੀਠਾ, ਜਿਤ ਨਾਮ ਨਵ ਨਿਧ ਪਾਏ। ਜੀਵਤ ਮਰੈ ਮਰੈ ਫੁਨ ਜੀਵੈ, ਤਾਂ ਮੋਖ ਅੰਤਰ ਪਾਏ। ਧੁਰ ਕਰਮ ਨਾ ਪਾਇਓ ਪ੍ਰਾਣੀ, ਵਿਣ ਕਰਮਾ ਕਿਆ ਪਾਏ। ਗੁਰ ਕਾ ਸ਼ਬਦ ਸਮਾਲ ਤੂੰ ਮੂੜੇ, ਗਤ ਮਤ ਸ਼ਬਦੇ ਪਾਏ। ਨਾਨਕ ਤਦ ਹੀ ਪਾਏ, ਜਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਹੋ ਆਪ ਗਵਾਏ। ਪੌੜੀ। ਜਿਸ ਦਾ ਚਿਤ ਵਸਿਆ ਮੇਰਾ ਸੁਆਮੀ, ਤਿਸਨੂੰ ਕਿਆ ਅੰਦੇਸਾ ਕਿਸੈ ਗਲੇ ਦਾ ਲੋੜੀਐ। ਹਰ ਸੁਖ ਦਾਤਾ ਸਭਨਾ ਗੱਲਾਂ ਕਾ, ਤਿਸਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਇਂਦਿਆ ਕਿਵ ਨਿਮਕ ਘੜੀ ਮੂੰਹ ਮੋੜੀਐ। ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਤਿਸਨੂੰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਹੋਏ। ਨਿਤ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾ ਕੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਜਾਏ, ਬਹੀਐ ਮੂੰਹ ਜੋੜੀਐ। ਸਭ ਦੁੱਖ ਭੁੱਖ ਰੋਗ ਗਏ, ਹਰ ਸੇਵਕ ਕੇ ਸਭ ਜਨ ਕੇ ਬੰਧਨ ਤੋੜੀਐ। ਹਰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਆ ਹਰ ਭਗਤ, ਹਰ ਭਗਤ ਜਨਾ ਕੈ ਮੋਹ ਡਿਠੈ। ਜਗਤ ਤਰਿਆ ਸਭ ਲੋੜੀਐ। ਸਭ ਦੁੱਖ ਭੁੱਖ ਰੋਗ ਗਏ, ਹਰ ਸੇਵਕ ਕੇ ਸਭ ਜਨ ਕੇ ਬੰਧਨ ਤੋੜੀਐ। ਹਰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਆ ਹਰ ਭਗਤ, ਹਰ ਭਗਤ ਜਨਾ ਕੇ ਮੂੰਹ ਡਿਠੈ। ਜਗਤ ਤਰਿਆ ਸਭ ਲੋੜੀਐ। ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਾ ਖਾਲਸਾ, ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕੀ ਫਤਿਹ। ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, today's ਪਾਵਨ ਪਵਿੱਤਰ ਹੁਕਮਨਾਮਾ ਸਾਹਿਬ, blessed to us from ਸੱਚਖੰਡ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਹਰਿਮੰਦਰ ਸਾਹਿਬ, ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ, is on Ang 549, blessed to us by ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ, ਤੀਜੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ, third ਗੁਰੂ ਸਾਹਿਬਾਨ। ਧੰਨ ਸ੍ਰੀ ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ is saying to us in this Shalok ਮਹੱਲਾ ਤੀਜਾ। ਮਨ ਪ੍ਰਤੀਤ ਨਾ ਆਇਆ, ਸਹਿਜ ਨਾ ਲੱਗੋ ਭਾਉ। Sache Pachi saying, Man pratit na aya. Man say, my mind prateet meaning faith, na aaya. My mind hasn't been filled with that faith in the Guru's word. Sahaj na lago pao, and I haven't yet fallen in love yet. Na lago pao. And then Guru Amar Das Ji Paach Ji say, Kende Shabde Saad na payo. Shabde Sangat Ji, through the Guru Shabad, through the Guru's teaching, through the Guru's word, Shabde Saad na payo. I still haven't felt it to be tasty. If we literally translate it, that's what it actually translates to. Meaning that Shabde Saad na payo. When we look at that, what Sache Paach Ji is actually saying here, Saad Sangat Ji, the word Saad comes from the word Swad. Swad meaning taste. But if we look underneath the Dadda, it's got an Ankara underneath it, meaning the Swad. Meaning that the taste. What taste is Sache Paach Ji is talking about here? Kande Shabde Saad na payo. That through the Guru Shabad yet, I still haven't tasted Vaheguru Ji yet. Meaning that I still haven't experienced that Anand, that bliss inside of me yet. And then they say, Paach Ji kehne Manhਠ kya gun gaye. Kehde ke je kisse ne man de hੱਠ de naal gun ga bhi le ta kehde ki gun gaye. ਪਿਆਰਿਓ ਕਈ ਮੈਂ ਬਹੁਤ ਵਾਰੀ ਆਖਦਾ ਹੁੰਨਾ ਆ ਕਿ ਕਈ ਵਾਰ ਜਿਸ ਤਰ੍ਹਾਂ ਮੇਰੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਕੋਈ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਵਿੱਚ ਗੱਲ ਆਖਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਉਹਦਾ ਕੁਝ ਸਵਾਦ ਹੀ ਹੋਰ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਆ। ਮੇਰੇ ਸੱਚੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਕਹਿਣ ਲੱਗੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਮਨ ਹਟ ਕਿਆ ਗੁਣ ਗਾਏ। ਜਿਸ ਲਾਈਕ ਜਦੋਂ ਆਪਾਂ ਪੰਜਾਬੀ ਚ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਆ ਨਾ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਾਂ ਹਾਂ ਤੂੰ ਗਾਇਆ ਤਾਂ ਸਹੀ ਤੂੰ ਗਾਇਆ ਤਾਂ ਹੈ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਰ ਕਾਹਦਾ ਗਾਇਆ। Meaning ਸੰਗਤ ਜੀ ਦਾ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ saying here to us, Kende, yes, you sang. Kende, but it's like asking that question back to us. Kende, did you really sing? Or we can rephrase it in saying it in this way. Saying, yes, you sang the praises of God. Kende, but what type of singing was that? Meaning that if you've had to do it out of stubborn-mindedness, what does it mean singing with that stubborn, from that place of being stubborn? Meaning, Sangat Ji, that we're actually not feeling that praise. We're actually not in tune with that praise ourselves. So many of times, Sangat Ji, we get together and we do Kirtan. We sing the Gurbani, and within that Gurbani are the praises of Vaheguru Ji. And there's many of times when we may even sing that in Rag. In the Rag meaning within that melody that is prescribed to us by Satguru Ji Padshah. And we've sang it very accurately. And we've sang it technically, we've got it correct. But Sangat Ji, there's two things here. Sometimes we don't even know what it means. So then how does it actually become our praise? Yes, it can still have a profound positive effect on our mind because there's sangat that comes together and we collectively sing together, and the energy that is created within that sangat, it helps our mind in very different ways that we may not be able to even comprehend. Or the other thing is, Sangat Ji, just looking at the positive here for a minute. We may not even understand the words, but because of the melody that it is sang in, because of the emotion the melody has evoked inside of us, has had a profound positive effect on us. I say profound because it's beyond our understanding what it's actually doing for us. So this isn't to try and be negative and break anyone away from anything, because even in that way it might be still having an effect on us. But Sadhguru Ji Paach Ji saying here, so for example, but the truth is, even though it's evoked a certain emotion inside of us, even though because there's an uplifting energy within that room, Sangat Ji, but we've not been able to connect to the actual praise itself. So for example, I'll share an example with you. Sache Paach Ji's Bani says that Tira Paatji will say to us, kehndi tera kiya meetha lage. Guru Arjan Dev Ji Paatji's Bani say that tera kiya meetha lage, that whatever you are doing, Vaheguru Ji, is sweet. That whatever it is, meaning whatever the outcome of a situation, and what that actually means on a deeper level is, because some people get this so confused, Sangat Ji. It means that whatever action I have done, and from that action whatever reaction has occurred, because that is under your laws, so meaning it is under your will then, and then whatever the outcome, even though that outcome may have been not what I expected, not what I wanted, that I didn't realize that what reaction was going to come, what was going to come of that action. I didn't know that, I wasn't aware. But whatever has come from that, Sangat Ji, it's because it's under Vaheguru Ji's system and their law and under their will. For that reason then, because I'm in love with you, Vaheguru Ji, then kehndi tera kiya meetha laga, that it is sweet to me because it's within your nature, within your laws, Vaheguru Ji, so it's sweet to me. But Pyareo, imagine now, going back to what we're actually looking at and we're going through within this Shabad, Sangat Ji. Sache Paatsh Ji is saying to us here that Shabde Saad na payo, Manhठ kya gun gaye. Even though you sang the praises of Vaheguru Ji, but one could be that you didn't even know that it was the praise of Vaheguru, because you've not been able to connect yourself to what you're even saying and you don't understand it. So in that way, it's not even, you've not actually praised. You've just said a set of words that Satguru Ji Paatsh Ji has given to us that hold, yes, their own vibration that does certain things for us, but it's not become our praise. In that way, it may not become our praise, or we do understand what it means, but yet Paatsh Ji kehne man prateet na aaya. The mind hasn't yet reached that state of where it's got prateet. Prateet, Sangat Ji, means faith. Halle o mere vaste pura vishwash nahi bajya. It's not become my faith in actually experiencing those words. So for example, so now Shabde Sadhana Payo, we still haven't had that taste of Vaheguru Ji's praises, Manhठ kya gun gaye. We've even understood the words, but because yet that faith isn't there in the Guru, so yet still we're not able to connect to those words of the example that we're using of tera kiya meetha lage. That we're still questioning it. But now how can I see that to be sweet? How can that be sweet? But it's not sweet for me. And I'm saying, well, it's not, I'm not experiencing it to be sweet, that whatever that the reaction was, whatever occurred from my action. So Sangat Ji, it's not become pratiti nahi halle aayi. That faith isn't there yet in Satguru Ji Paatsh Ji's words. So in that way, it hasn't become our praise yet. And that's why Sache Paatsh Ji is saying that Shabde Sadhana Payo Manhঠ kya gun gaye. And that's why then we say, par main ta kirtan bhi kitta. I even did kirtan. Yes, you did kirtan, but you did it with Manhঠ. It was done with stubborn-mindedness. It wasn't actually, you just forced yourself to do it because you thought it was a good deed. It's something the Guru says we have to do, so I done it. But look, still, I'm still the same. Because Paatsh Ji is saying you didn't actually praise Vaheguru Ji yet. You didn't actually say to Vaheguru Ji yet from inside that you didn't actually say, Vaheguru Ji, tera kiya meetha laga. That Vaheguru Ji, whatever you are doing is sweet. Because there was still yet inside that once that pratiti, once the faith is there in Satguru Ji, then we'll know that whatever the outcome is of any of my actions, Satguru Ji, it is sweet because it's come from you, and Guru Sahib Ji, you are telling me it's sweet, and I've got faith in you, so it is sweet. So with that pratiti, then I sing, and then it becomes my praise. And that's why often enough we'll say that we did kirtan, but we've got to ask ourselves the question, did we actually just do kirtan? Did we actually just praise Vaheguru Ji? Was we able to connect from inside, and were we actually saying those words? Because if we were from inside, then it's become our praise. And when it becomes our praise, then it will change our life. Then it will change our life when it becomes our praise. Sangat Ji, then it doesn't matter if we've got a vaja, if we've got a ribab, a dil ribab. It doesn't matter then if we've got saranda or a saurangi. Then it doesn't matter if we've got these instruments or not. Then we can have them, because all of these instruments are just railings. They are just an aid to evoke what we are saying. But once we are saying that, then it becomes our praise. Once it becomes our praise, there is no space left for ego. There is no space left for arrogance there, Sangat Ji. So Guru Amardas Ji Paat Ji kende Nanak aaya so parwan hai, jai Gurmukh sach samaye. Guru Amardas Ji Paat Ji saying kende those, the coming of those, Guru Amardas Ji Paat Ji saying kende Nanak aaya so parwan hai. That the coming of those is actually fruitful. Parvan is fruitful. If Gurmukh, if you gave yourself to the Guru and such samay, and you actually immersed into the truth, into Vaheguru Ji. And then Sache Paat Ji say Mehla tija, apna aap na pachana mooda. That one, that fool. And I was thinking about this morning, that when Sache Paat Ji calls us a fool, are they calling us a fool in arrogance? Absolutely not, because my Guru hasn't got any arrogance inside of them. So is calling us a fool here, are they using tasteless words for us? Absolutely not. And contemplating on this was that Satguru Ji Paat Ji is calling us a fool because out of compassion, they are seeing us acting like a fool, and because we're acting like a fool, it's making us suffer, because we're not actually praising Vaheguru Ji yet. We're actually still questioning and saying, no, how can this be sweet? And then Pyareo, then Satguru Ji Paat Ji saying, you fool, not meaning like looking down at us, saying, you fool, that my heart is going out to you, that you are acting foolish and it's causing you pain, and I don't want pain and suffering for you. This is my Guru. My Guru saying, beta, saying, come my child, don't look, you being a fool is destroying your life. And in that way the Guru calls us a fool. Apna aap na pachane, you haven't recognized yourself, tu hai ki. You are a part of that supreme light. You are a flicker of that supreme light. Apna aap na pachane mooda. The fool hasn't recognized themselves, and the moment you do, you're sorted. You've got sukh then. Avra aakh dukhaye. And they said, because you haven't recognized yourself, then you're in ego. You're wrapped around in your own self, in that self-conceit of not being able to see outside of your own self and not seeing anybody else's suffering. Because you're so stuck inside of yourself. Then what do you do? Avra means others. Aakh, with what you're saying, dukhaye, you bring pain to others with the way you speak to them. And then Guru Amardas Ji Paat Ji say, munde di khaslat na gaya. Then the munde, your ways of life, ਜਿਹੋ ਤੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਸੀ, ਮੁੰਡੇ means even before, ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਤੋਂ ਹੀ, ਮੁੰਡੇ ਦੀ ਖਸਲਤ means habits, your ways, even though here it's translated as his underlying nature, I'd be very careful on not actually translate it in that way, because it could make somebody think that, well, this is my nature now and this is what I am now and I can't change that. Absolutely not. So that translation, I'm sure it wasn't written in that way, but in the way it can be read, it could be very misleading. So because it says his underlying nature does not leave him, absolutely not. It's not our underlying nature. All it means is speaking in such a way to others that is hurting them, because we're using such horrible words and being so nasty through our speech towards them. It's now become munde, meaning it's become a habit. It's gone and sat in my subconscious mind. The kaslat, these habits have, kaslat means habits. Na gaya, they haven't left me ande, because I'm still yet living in ignorance. I'm still blind. Kende vichode chota khaye, and kende it's because I'm separated from my true self. For my true self, that is Anand. Vichad chota khaye. Chota means then I'll be getting wounded, afflicting these wounds, meaning I'll constantly be, because I'm dukhi from inside, because I'm from inside not happy, and I'm feeling agitation, I'm getting annoyed and angry, because these emotions are taking over my life from inside, and that shows because I'm separated from that one. That one, Sangat Ji, is what is Sat Chit Anand. Is Sat is the absolute truth, Chit meaning it is all knowing, and Anand is bliss. Sangat Ji, because we are separated from bliss, because we're not in Anand from inside, not being in Anand, in bliss, what do? Then we end up speaking such things to other people that bring pain and hurt them, and it doesn't bother us that it hurts them, because that's what we're feeling as well inside. So we actually think it's okay for other people to feel that as well. So it all starts from being separated. That's why Sache Paatshah said to us in Gurbani, they say that Parmeshwar te bhuliya vyapan sabbe rog. Guru Sahib Ji Paatshah saying that the problem is that Parmeshwar te bhuliya, you have now forgotten Parmeshwar, you have forgotten Vaheguru Ji. Forgotten in which way? Not with thoughts. You have forgotten Vaheguru Ji in experience, because you're not experiencing Vaheguru Ji. You're not anpav. You haven't anpav nahi kar reha insan andaro Vaheguru Ji. Anand aap nahi anand vich. I'm not in anand now. So what happens? Vyapan sabbe rog. Then all these diseases come and get me. The disease of ego comes first, and then arrogance, and then anger, and then I speak in anger. I speak from being agitated. So Sache Paatshah saying this is what's happened. Kende Vemuk hoye Ram te laggan janam vijog. Kende, but if you end up living like that and it becomes your habit of living like that, it's not your nature, it's just a habit that you formed over time. Kende, but if you continue like that, kende, of remaining separated from Vaheguru, kende Vemuk hoye Ram te laggan janam vijog, kende, you'll end up like that for many lifetimes. Janam vijog, you'll be separated for many lifetimes if you don't do something about this. So then Sangat Ji bringing it back to what Sache Paatshah Ji is saying to us here. So just going back to Sangat Ji where we were, just finding, there we go. So munde di khaslat na gaya ande vichad chota khaye. So Sangat Ji Paatshah Ji is saying to us, that habit hasn't gone, which is just become a part of our subconscious mind, and we keep acting out of that, because that's easy. It's very difficult to live consciously. If we lived consciously, Sangat Ji, if we didn't allow our memory. So Sangat Ji, what is the subconscious? The subconscious mind is just what is sat in the memory in our manas, Sangat Ji, and then we just keep acting out of that. But acting consciously is very difficult. So even though the Guru has given us wisdom to live a certain way, but because even though we take that, but we find it difficult to live consciously, even though we've received that new wisdom, and we're still not able to then change. And that's what Satguru Ji Paatshah is talking about in the Shabad. So they're saying to us here, कहते सतगुर कै पै भन ना घड़ियो रहे अंक समाए. कहते, so what's happened is, even though you've come to the Guru, and many of us we've come to the Guru, we've come into Sangat, we read Gurbani, but even when we read Gurbani, but Paatshah Ji Guru Amar Das Ji Paatshah saying, कहते what's happening is, कहते सतगुर कै पै, कहते but you haven't lived in the fear of your Guru. When we live in the fear of the Guru's word, then we'll live from our conscious mind. And remember, Sangat Ji, that often enough, Sangat Ji, I've said this before, we could be saying Vaheguru, 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 but that is happening mechanically. When I say it's happening mechanically, it's happening from a subconscious mind, because Sangat Ji, because it's become a habit and it's happening from the subconscious mind. But Guru Sahib Ji is saying to us, the whole game is, where is your conscious mind? Where is your consciousness now? Because that is what will matter. So Sadhguru Ji Paatshah Ji is saying to us, कहते Kabir, Bhagat Kabir Ji se कहते Kabir man pankhi peo. And then they'll say to us, कहते Kabir man pankhi peo ud ud deh dis jai. So here they're talking about our conscious mind. They're saying the conscious mind is actually flying about in all 10 different directions. But remember, at the same time, in the background, from the subconscious mind, I could be still from inside doing Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. But that then becomes mechanical and dry, Sangat Ji, because the conscious mind is now wandering around somewhere else. And what are we going to get the fruits for is where our conscious mind is. Bhagat Kabir Ji say, कहते जो जैसी संगत मिले. So whatever your conscious mind is in company with, in company of. So even though the background is saying Vaheguru, 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 but my conscious mind is focused on, for example, could be focused on a hateful and ill thought towards somebody else, towards a relative, towards your partner, towards somebody that used to be a friend, whoever it might be. That's where your conscious mind is. What are you going to get the fruits for? Guess what? You're not going to get the fruits for what's happening in your subconscious mind, what's saying Vaheguru, 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 Vaheguru. And I filled myself with so much pride in thinking Mere andar ta simran chalta. And we'll say to ourselves that inside of me is the remembrance of God is going on. But little do we know, Simran is the remembrance that happens with our conscious mind. So if from the background I'm saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru, and as you know, you could be saying Vaheguru, Vaheguru from inside, but you thought could be focused on something else. And if your thought is focused on something else, which is an ill thought towards somebody else, that is what you're thinking now, in the now, consciously. Guess what you're going to get the phal for, the fruits for? So taiso phal khaye. You will get the phal for that. You will get the fruits for that, what is happening in your conscious mind, Sangat Ji. So then there will be an outcome of having that ill thought towards somebody. And Guru Amar Das Ji Paatshah Ji here has used the example, Sangat Ji used the example here that So just coming back to the Pankti maaf karna. Avra aakh dukhaye, you've now spoke something that has brought pain to somebody else. Because that's what you've done consciously now. Consciously you had an ill thought towards somebody and you brought it to your tongue and you've destroyed somebody's heart. And you've brought pain for them instead of acting consciously and wanting to lift them up. Now you've actually thrown them down. That's what we will get the fruits for the ill thought. Not for what's happening in our subconscious mind, even though if it is the word Vaheguru, even if it is the word Ram, even if it is the word whatever somebody does jap on, even if somebody's saying Hare Krishna, whatever it may be, Sangat ji, that's not what you're going to get the fruits for. The fruits is going to be from what you're consciously thinking of. So, kende munde di khaslat na gaya ande vichad chotan khaye. Kende the habit hasn't gone. So the habit is now, Sangat ji, what? Of you now are, because that's what's ingrained in us now. And consciously that's what you are doing even. So that's what you're actually acting out now. The bad habit. The bad habit is what you're still consciously doing. So Sangat ji, how do you get rid of that now? That's the $1 million question, obviously. So we still keep continuing acting out of that because we're not in Anand yet from inside. So Sadgur ke pan na kadyo rahe ank samaye. First of all, we've got to be able to take a hit. Pan. We've got to let Satguru ji Paat ji smash us. But often enough, we don't like taking a hit. But only if what it means that we don't allow the Guru to hit us. We're there just to tick the box and do our good deed that I've gone there. I've done my part. No. Part reading Gurbani means I'm opening myself now to take a hit. And that's what pan means. But we're saying we don't like to be smashed. We don't want to let go of that side of ourselves because we've justified our actions for being agitated and for speaking in that way and bringing hurt to somebody else. But no, this path, if we want to change and change even what's in the subconscious mind, and then so just in case this doesn't become confusing for someone, so what often happens is, what's sat in our subconscious mind, the habit that is sitting there of speaking a certain way to somebody, we allow that to carve our destiny. We allow that to make to decide our conscious doing now as well. So what we do in the now, we allow that. So it's our habit to bite at somebody when we speak through our speech. And then conscious in the now, which is what we're doing consciously, we do that now as well. Not realizing that we're allowing that to lead our life and not acting out of this now, what we're doing now. And just so it doesn't get confusing for anyone, and I threw in the example of doing Simran in the background. What that means is, Sangat ji, that there's certain habits in our subconscious mind, and there could be good ones, and there could be positive ones, and there could be negative ones. So often enough, we allow the negative ones to come forth, and we act out of them. And for example, so speaking harshly, it's become a habit, and we allow that to determine what we're going to act, how we're going to act now. But Sangat ji, there's good habits that we have formed as well, which is, for example, like doing job of the mantra of Vaheguru. And that could be in our subconscious mind as well. But often enough, we don't allow that to determine our now. what we're going to do now consciously. Because we needed to bring it into our consciousness that as we are saying the word Waheguru, we needed to act out of Waheguru as well. Waheguru is sweet. Then they would be working, then it would be working for us. But often we give in to the negative habits. Sangatji, so if we have practiced the Guru Mantra enough where it's gone into our subconscious mind, then we need to bring it into our conscious mind as well and act out of that. But it depends what we have got connected to the word Waheguru. So it's a bit deep, this is Sangatji. When we do Guru Mantra Jap, when we say the word Waheguru, what have we connected with it? If we've connected Waheguruji's gun with it, if we've connected Waheguruji's qualities to it, and Waheguruji to be sweet, and Waheguruji to be mit bolada ji har sajjan swami mora. So Sache Paach ji say to us that you are mit bolada ji har sajjan swami mora, saying that you are sweet, Waheguruji. Meaning that if we now connect the word Waheguruji to Waheguruji's gun, to the mantra, we connect the gun, the qualities of Waheguruji, then when that's going on in the background, in the subconscious mind, but we're bringing it forward to our conscious mind, and then we connect what? And the gun are connected to it, then we will act out of the qualities of what we have connected to that word. Act out of that. But Sangatji, what we're here, what I want to just make clear is that when Sadhguruji Paachji is saying to us that you're not changing, because Sangatji, we've got to be willing to take a hit. We've got to be willing to take a hit from the Guru. But often enough that we are reading Gurbani with an unconscious mind, we're just reading it and not allowing it to actually reform us. So we got to allow the Guru's words to actually, we've got to be open to say that I'm not here to hold on to my existing personalities that are negative. I'm here willing to take a hit from you. So Waheguruji is saying to us that speak sweetly, mitha bole niv chal hai sehje rabe pitar. We've got to allow that to hit us, to smash us. And when we allow it to hit us and we take a hit from it, then Paach kende this is talking about the opposite, na kadiyo. We've got to allow it to carve us. And we've got to come with an openness. And we've got to be conscious to what we are doing in that moment. Allowing and saying that reading Gurbani for me is reformation of myself. So Sangatji, and then allowing it to, we're going to take the hit. I remember in a company, in a business, when somebody is taking a hit, they'll say we need to take a hit on that so we can gain here. So to take that hit on our ego and allowing it to be smashed, of not justifying our negative actions, of speaking from an agitated place, no matter what the situation behind it is, but allowing it to say, I'm coming to you open, I'm going to let myself be hit, and then we can start the reformation process of then starting to allow ourselves to be carved. So rahe ank samaye, so that we can then remain attached to Waheguruji. An din sahsa kade na chuke, bin shabade dukh paaye. Paach saying an din sahsa kade na chuke. But if we don't come with that openness and read Bani consciously to take a hit, then what will happen is we'll remain the same. We won't end up changing. Because we're just still living out that subconscious mind. We're not consciously even reading Gurbani. So Sangatji, we're saying Anadin Sahsa Kade na chuka hai. In that way, this is that your doubts will never be lifted. Bin Shabade Dukh Paaye. Without the Guru's teaching, allowing you to Guru's teaching to take a hit. Kende dukh pai, you'll continue to suffer in your life. Kende kaam, krodh, lobh, antar, sabla. Kende remember there's somebody so sabla, somebody so powerful that is always trying to consume you and take over you. That is kaam, that is these burning desires. Kende krodh, anger, lobh, greed, antar, sabla, they are so powerful, they become so powerful inside of us. Kende nit tanda karte bihai. Kende our whole day is past. Nit, every moment is past. Vihai means past. What tanda kart, in just worldly affairs, in building on our material, on this material world. Paach kende charan kar dekh sun thakke. Kende this charan, my feet, now my kar, my hands, dekht, my eyes with seeing, sun, my ears with listening. Kende thakke, they are completely tired. Kende dehe mukke nede aaye, dehe, the days are reducing, they're mukke, they're coming to an end. Nede aaye, that death is coming close to me. When am I gonna really allow myself to take a hit from the Guru's Shabad? Kende sacha naam na lago meetha. Kende still the name of God, kende hasn't started to seem sweet to me yet from inside. Kende jit naam nam nid paaye. Kende where, kende that naam, that way I can attain the no nidya, the 9 treasures, meaning all the happiness, all that contentment from within. Kende jeevat mare phun jeeva ta mokh antar paaye. Kende it's only when we decide to jeevat, whilst we are living, mare, die in the Guru's word, die in the Guru's Shabad. And then Sangaji mare, when we die in the Guru Shabad, allow ourselves to be hit by the Guru, be open to it. Kende then fun jeeve, then we'll truly be able to live. Kende tamo khantar paaye, and then we'll be liberated. Kende tor karma na payo prani, vin karma kya paaye. Kende but if we don't actually receive the karam, if we don't receive the bakshish, the grace from Vaheguru Ji, kende na payo prani, kende vin karma kya paaye. Kende what will you end up then getting? How can you expect to get anything, meaning to be able to break away from these past habits, until you don't get Vaheguru Ji's bakshish? And the only way to get Vaheguru Ji's bakshish, the only way Sangaji to receive Guruji's kirpa, is if we open ourselves and come with that open mind and say that I'm willing to take a hit with your Shabad. I'm not here to hold on to my personalities and all my justifications. I'm here now to allow you to smash that ego of mine and to start carving the new me. Gur ka Shabad Samal tu mude. Guru Amardas Ji Paatshah kende, oh you fool, kende take care. And they take deep inside of you the Guru's Shabad, the Guru's word, the Guru's way of living. Can they gat, so that you can be gat, so that you can be liberated from all these chores, from all these vices. Mat Shabde Paaye. Can they, so that you can, from the Guru's, so you can take from the Guru's word, you can take that wisdom, and through the wisdom then you can have liberation. Kende Nanak Sadguru tad hi paaye, jaan vich ho aap gawaaye. Paat ji kende Nanak Sadguru tad hi paaye. Kende you will only actually meet the Guru, you'll only actually be with the Guru and find the Guru. Kende jaan vicho aap gawaaye, if you lose yourself. We've gone to Sangat many of times, we've gone to Guru Granth Sahib Ji many of times, but we've got to go with that willingness of saying that I'm here to not hold on. I'm here willing to let go and allow you to smash me, to hit me with your words, and so I can reform myself. Pauri jis de chit vasya mera swami. Those that have Vaheguru Ji within their mind, kende tisno kyo andesa kise galle da lodiye. Kende what will they won't have any anxieties left inside of them. They won't have any of these gallan, anything left inside of them. Kende har sukhdata sabna gallan ka. Because Vaheguru Ji is the sukhdata, is the giver of peace to everything. Kende tisno tyayenda ਕਿਵ ਨਿਮਕ ਘੜੀ ਮੋੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ that meditate ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਦਾ if you meditate on that one ਕਹਿੰਦੇ you will obtain all the happiness that you can ever imagine ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਤਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਧਿਆਨ ਦਾ ਕਿਵ ਨਿਮਕ ਘੜੀ ਮੋੜੀਏ why would you even want to turn your face on that one that is going to give you all the happiness in life ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਿਨ ਹਰ ਧਿਆਇਆ ਤਿਸ ਨੂੰ ਸਰਬ ਕਲਿਆਣ ਹੋਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ those that meditated on ਵਾਹਿਗੁਰੂ ਜੀ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ they have been liberated from everything ਕਲਿਆਣ means liberated ਹੋਏ ਨਿਤ ਸੰਤ ਜਨਾ ਕੀ ਸੰਗਤ ਜਾਏ ਬਈਏ ਮੋਹ ਜੋੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ constantly go and sit in the sanctuary go and sit in the sangat go and be amongst those who amongst the saints sangat ji that have got all of these qualities inside of them can they go and sit with them can they go and connect with them ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਭ ਦੁੱਖ ਭੁੱਖ ਰੋਗ ਗਏ ਹਰ ਸੇਵਕ ਕੇ ਸਭ ਜਨ ਕੇ ਬੰਧਨ ਤੋੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਭ ਦੁੱਖ ਭੁੱਖ ਰੋਗ ਗਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ when you go and associate with those saints that have become liberated themselves ਕਹਿੰਦੇ what will happen ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਭ ਦੁੱਖ all your sufferings all your pains ਭੁੱਖ all your hungers ਰੋਗ ਗਏ all your diseases will go ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਗਏ they've gone ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰ ਸੇਵਕ ਕੇ ਸਭ ਜਨ ਕੇ ਬੰਧਨ ਤੋੜੀਏ those that become a servant of God ਗੁਰੂ ਅਮਰਦਾਸ ਜੀ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਸਭ ਕੇ ਬੰਧਨ ਤੋੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ all their bondages will be broken ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਆ ਹਰ ਭਗਤ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ how will this all happen ਪਾਤਸ਼ਾਹ ਜੀ ਸਿੰਘ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰ ਕਿਰਪਾ ਤੇ ਹੋਆ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ it's happened with the only will happen with the grace of that one ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰ ਭਗਤ where you can even become a devotee of that one it happens with grace ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਹਰ ਭਗਤ ਜਨਾ ਕੈ ਮੋਹ ਡਿਠੇ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ those that have actually seen the faces of those bhagats of those devotees ਕਹਿੰਦੇ ਜਗਤ ਤਰਿਆ ਸਭ ਲੋੜੀਏ ਕਹਿੰਦੇ they will actually be saved as well through connecting with those bhagats those that have become devotees of God Sangat ji so the takeaway message from this Hukamnama Sahib is Sangat ji is to first of all realize that we may be stuck in certain patterns in our life. Sangat ji, sorry, I'm just doing multiple things at the same time here. I'm actually doing all the controlling, all the actual live stream and Bani and everything else myself today. So Sangat ji, takeaway message. So it's nice and firm and becomes strong. There's things that have become a habit to us. And the only way to break out that habit is to act from that consciousness of acting from being careful and being aware, where is my thought now? Because where it is now is what I will obtain the fruits of. So consciously read the Guru's words. Allow the Guru's words to smash the ego and the old habits. So just in case anybody got confused, why did I throw in that Waheguru Simran can be happening subconsciously, but we still might not be changing and reforming, is because our conscious mind is wandering. That's why it's very important to be conscious, to be present to when we read Gurbani, allowing the Guru's message to smash those habits, really taking it in, where Guru's talking about starting to speak sweetly, and we can do that in stages. So you can build that up where you say to yourself, so at the moment, if my whole speech is full of gand and rubbish, I'm going to do one thing that in the beginning is easy for me to let go. So what is that? So for example, one person, they might be quite harsh in their words, but that might be so engraved in them at the moment, very difficult to let go of. This is scientifically proven, what I'm just sharing with you. So what you do is you set yourself a goal of letting go something that is easier for you first in that whole, under that umbrella of the way we speak, for example, because Guru Amar Das Ji spoke about speaking and breaking somebody's heart. So for example, you might swear a lot in your speech, in your sentence, but there's a particular swear you don't use very often, but you do, and it's not something that you enjoy even using. So what you could do is then you could consciously decide, not that I'm going to give it up for a while and I'm going to have a cheat day, because that doesn't work. That's why people end up, when you have a diet plan in place that is for a set amount of time, you will fall apart once you've reached that time, because then you will go back to your old ways. Only way to really give something up is to say, I'm giving up this for good. No cheat days, that's it, it's gone. Religiously, just like you say to yourself, if somebody, for example, has taken Khande Batte da Amrit, and for somebody, they decide that in their way of life is to live for example, that for them, their dharam, their religion is that, okay, I'm not gonna eat this certain type of food. So somebody will say, I'm only gonna eat food that is vegetarian. And for you, that is it. It's not, you've not got that I'm going to do it till this date, or I'm going to do it up to there. That is it for you. We've got to do the same thing, Sangaji. So we've got to say, okay, you start off slow and you build it up. Some people, I've got the kirpa, they can do it straight away. I'm talking for the majority here. So you pick maybe one particular swear that you say, that is it. You are not coming into my mouth ever again. I'm done with you. And then you make a conscious effort that you don't use that particular swear word ever again. But as you now building yourself, you're building this brain muscle to actually actively let go of something, and then once you've done that, you can introduce the next thing, and then you can say that I'm not gonna now swear. Then it could be another word. Eventually it could be, I'm not using any swear words at all now. And you'll be able to build yourself up to it. But you always tell your brain it's for good. That is it. That's become now my religion. That a part of my religion, do not say this word. And that's why if somebody's saying for them their dharam is vegetarianism, they never go back to eating their meat, because they've said that is my faith. So we've got to make this, whatever we want to let go of, we've got to make it into our religion. We've got to make it into our faith. I don't speak harsh words. I don't slander. We make it into our religion, just like we would never ever go back to eating a certain type of food, because for us, that has become my faith now. And in that way, we can start letting go and reforming ourselves, Sangat Ji. So, प्लीज़ फॉरगिव मी फॉर माई मिस्टेक्स. इतनी एक बेनती प्रवान करनी है, एक नहीं पर अनेक कहीं गलतियां हो गई हैं, अनजान बच्चा समझ के बख्श देना. सो आओ संगत जी, आपां सारे रल मिल के गज वज के बुलाइए फतेह जी. वाहेगुरु जी का खालसा, वाहेगुरु जी की फतेह.